football on a whole new level. Play football on the field.
I'm Rob Donald. I'm the associate producer on BackBreaker for Natural Motion. Basically, we're trying to sort of reinvent sports video games here. This is the first game that's going to come across as truly live, interactive sports game. This is through Euphoria, which is our own animation engine. This is the first time it's being used in a sports video game. To start with, I guess the thing to explain about Euphoria is that it doesn't involve any canned tackles, any canned animation. Obviously, this is something new. The way it works is to provide the characters in the game with behaviours. For example, we can program a tackle behaviour into a character. What this means is that any time that they have to tackle a ball carrier, they actually just go about it in a way that is totally unscripted. They just have a command to actually bring that ball carrier down, no matter how they can go about doing it. Now, this could be a really powerful barge tackle, a wrap tackle that will just bring them down on the spot, or it could be a desperation tap tackle as they're about to head into the end zone. It really just depends on that moment in the game, and that's bringing these kind of unique moments in. One thing with Euphoria is obviously without the canned animation, it leads into interesting scenarios where we have to kind of bring the real football rules into the game, such as like face mask penalties. We have to actually program the guys on the field not to do this. You know, we give them the initial instruction to bring their man down no matter what, but then we have to kind of tone them down a bit. So we actually have to program the AI to specifically not infringe on the rules and sort of get the penalties against them. What we've tried to do is really make it a simple experience for people to pick up and play. So we've mapped as much as possible onto the right analog stick. All of these controls will be used in context, so if you're running, you can juke left and right just by flicking the stick left and right. You can perform spin moves just by spinning the stick. Similarly, we can bring in modifiers using the triggers. The one modifier that we do have is we're using the right trigger, which takes the ball carrier into aggressive mode. That gives you access to all of your power moves, so your stiff arms, your trucking moves. All of that is done, again, using Euphoria. So you actually genuinely barge through the line and you genuinely hit people in the face as you're trying to run past them. Defense is all about individual athletes making big plays as part of a team. And that's really something that we're trying to focus on with defense. So we still keep the same camera, it's down on the field, it's over the shoulder, it's that third person perspective, it's intense, you follow the guy in, you make the tackles. We're not compromising on that at all by pulling you back with the camera and giving you the sort of full view of the field. But the important thing with defense is obviously to keep the camera controls tight and keep the intelligence of like player switching. And what we do then is, instead of switching to the nearest player, which would be the simplest thing to do, but often that could be the thing that causes the most difficulty. You don't want to switch to a player who is, sure, he's the nearest player, but he's just been like pancaked and he's now lying on the face down on the ground. You don't want to switch to that guy. So what we do, we have a very complex system that works instantly in the back end, a massive spreadsheet of data that calculates the ideal person to switch to. And sometimes it will switch you to the player that you wouldn't necessarily expect it to, but it will be the best player to actually put the ball carrier down and reduce the number of yards that they're making on that any given play. So Road to BackBreaker is kind of the meat of the game, and we think that people will kind of they'll whet their appetite with a bit of Tackle Alley and a bit of the exhibition mode. Once they get into it, we think Road to BackBreaker is really the mode that they'll spend most of their time in. What we've done here is introduce kind of almost like a European slant to the game. Rather than just having a recurring 8 or 16 or 32 team league, we start you out with this custom team that you make in an 8-team league, and we work on a system of promotion and relegation. If you're in the 8-team league, there's nowhere to go. You can't go down, so you're safe, but you always want to aim higher, and if you finish in the top 3 of any given league, you'll be promoted into the league above. But this is all about progression. So once you finish, you get promoted up from the 8-team into the 16-team league. You can then, again, you'll be scouting players throughout the team, so you can draft new players in and buy free agents. And really you have to kind of raise your game, not only the way that you play it and your skills, but you've got to raise the game of the team that you have, your personal team as well. So you want to buy players, you want to fill holes in the roster, because you know that when you go up a division, the players in that division are going to be a lot tougher than the guys that you faced in the 18 league, certainly. Online's obviously important to us. You know, sport is all about competition by its very nature. So throughout the game, the multiple online modes. We start off in, like, say, Tackle Alley. You can play online, and this is online multiplayer. We've also really think we're bringing back split-screen gaming as well. We're really excited about that. The camera view that we have really lends itself to split-screen gaming, and this is co-op and against your friends as well. So one person can play the quarterback, another person can play wide receiver, and they see it from the perspective of the player that they've chosen to play. And BackBreaker is out on Xbox 360, PS3, and it's out on May 18th.